Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a brand new video. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amelia and I upload all kinds of book content such as reading vlogs, wrap-ups, you name it. And if you do enjoy that kind of content, then please subscribe. And if you're not new here, then welcome back. If you haven't read the title, then you don't know what this video is, but I'm guessing you did when you clicked on the video. This video is how much I realistically read in a week. So bearing in mind I have got work and I've got rehearsals, so we are seeing how much I get done and read in a week, and if I can read more than one book will be brilliant, who knows. So this week I'm not starting it today, today's a Sunday, but I'm just doing the intro today. I'm starting it from Monday through to I think Sunday, but I'm away for the weekend, so I'll probably just tell you on Sunday when I end the vlog how much I read on Saturday and Sunday combined, if that makes sense. I will be doing how many minutes I read for in a day and how many pages I read in a day, so we can see what day I do more and what day I do less. So if you are excited to find out how much I realistically read in a week, then you know what to do, continue watching this vlog. I did one of these last year and I really enjoyed doing it, and I think it's just a really good way to show how much I actually realistically read. I feel like the last year I just vlogged. It was kind of similar to that because I was trying to do 200 pages and I just didn't. But this is just a realistic week of the vlog. So how much I realistically read in a week. So enjoy. Whether I start the video off with the rest of the Throne of the Fallen, I don't know. I might finish that tonight, hopefully I will. Otherwise I'll be starting with Daisy Jones and the Six as a reread, because I really need to I feel like I'm getting a bit of a slumpy feel and I need to get out of that, so I'm doing a reread of my favourite book, so hopefully that will help. But yeah, I will speak to you tomorrow when I'm maybe hopefully a bit more awake and my hair looks a bit more put together because it's a bit of a mess right now. Hello. I'm not going to lie to you, I don't know how bad I look because I am half asleep. However, half asleep, I've had a nap. I'm so tired and I feel a bit rough today. I've been really rough since I got home yesterday and I'm not entirely sure why. And I'm trying just to ignore it and just focus on just getting on with today, but it's really hard to do so. However, I am here with an update for today. Obviously, we're doing how much I realistically read in a week, and today is the first day of that. And I feel like we've read quite a bit in one day. I did listen to a lot of my audiobook during work, whilst I was doing my emails at work. So I listened to about the last 90, well, I know how many pages it was. I read 94 pages of that audiobook, so I read the last 94 pages of Throne of the Fallen and finally finished this book. Am I a bit upset with how I felt about it? Yes. I had this down as one of my 5-star predictions of the years. Yeah, I genuinely thought it was one of those ones I was going to rate so high because I just loved the Kings of the Wicked series and I loved her writing. And don't get me wrong, the writing was good. I just got bored at times. I got interested, and then as soon as I got interested I got bored again. It just got a bit, I don't know. And it wasn't as good as I expected. I don't know what it was about it, but I don't know if that is to do with the fact that maybe I am going into a slump. I actually have no idea. However, I couldn't tell you if I fully loved this book or not, so I'm giving it 3.25 stars. There was parts I enjoyed, and I think it was a good solid set up for a book, and the ending was really good and I did enjoy the ending until the smut happened, but I wouldn't say it was my favourite book I've ever read, and it's probably just the lowest book I've rated so far this year, which makes me feel really sad about it, but it is what it is. But yeah, 3.25 stars I gave Throne of the Fallen, but because I feel like I might be getting into some kind of slump, I have decided to pick up Daisy Jones and the Six for the next book I read. So as a reread, I read this in 2022 and then I read it again in 2023, and both times it was a 5 stars. So I'm really hoping this gets me out of this slumpy feel and I can still give it 5 stars. I don't even know if I'm going to re-rate it because I feel like that would be bad. Especially if I am still in a slump when it comes to the end of it, then I'm probably going to lower it because I feel the way, but I know it's not. I know it's still 5 stars. I think about this book pretty much daily. And like I said, I read it in 2022 and 2023, and I've thought about this book near enough pretty much daily. So I just know that it's still a 5 star in my mind. It doesn't matter how I feel. So yeah, and if you didn't know, this follows a girl called Daisy Jones, and she's a singer, and there's this band called The Six, and you're following their story, and it's like in the 60s, and it's just so good. I love it. Okay, it's a lot later on Monday evening now, but it is 10:15, and it's the time I'm like winding down to go to bed. So I'm gonna watch them Once Upon a Time, but whilst I do that, I'm gonna read some Daisy Jones and the Six. I am also doing a Daisy Jones and the Six rewatch. I'm currently on episode 4, where Daisy is at the party, and spoiler if you haven't read it or watched it, or at least watched it, she's at Camilla and Billy's housewarming party, and she's like, and they're like trying to get her to join. The other guys were like, oh yeah, they agree that Daisy should join the band, but the opposite, and Billy and Daisy both think the opposite because they just apparently don't like each other. But yeah, I'm obviously nowhere near that in this book. I have only just had the bit where we've just met Daisy. I've only read one, like, I guess you could say one chapter. They're not really done in chapters. If you've read Daisy Jones and the Six, you know what it's like, what it is. But it's like, it's done in interview style, which I absolutely love. And I literally love the story. And I love just getting everyone's point of view. Especially when we get further into the story and the more the deeper and other stuff. And part of me is like, do I really want to be rereading a book that I've read twice? But right now I feel like it's what I need, because I don't have any books. There's so many books I want to read, but I feel like if I read this, I get out of the slump of feeling. I'm feeling that I want to read all the other books that I have to read. I do need to do my book journal at some point this week. So over the next couple of days, because I'm not on Wednesday probably, I'm gonna like sit down and try and do my book journal in the evening. And I think when I do that, I might put my headphones on and listen to the audiobook for Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows, because that is the one I'm on and I'm currently listening to, so you'll get that as well. I'm also thinking of doing that whilst I'm at work, so yeah, we'll see. Or I might pick up a different book, probably Harry Potter, but I'm going to sit and read some of this and watch Once Upon a Time until I get really tired, so we'll see how much I read. Hello, okay, it is Tuesday, and obviously we're doing how much I realistically read. I feel like this week is a very unrealistic week so far, because I feel like I've read more than I did last week, and last week probably was more of a realistic week. But I'm saying that it's more happening at work, and it's because during work I stick my headphone in and listen to the audiobook of a book. Otherwise, no, we wouldn't be reading this much. I have only read, I want to say so far, 8 pages of Daisy Jones and the Six so far today. Hopefully we'll get a bit more done tonight, because I would like to get a good chunk of the way through. I feel like I'm not in a slump. I feel like yesterday I was just feeling extremely tired. I'm hoping today I feel a little bit better. But we have read for so far today, because I listened to the audiobook of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, this big chunky book. We've read for 3 hours and 26 minutes so far. Like, that is a lot of time for someone who works on a daily basis. And that is just because I have my head early to the audiobook during work, otherwise that wouldn't have happened. So we've read 130 pages. So I started on chapter 13, and we're now about to start chapter 21 of this. I am thoroughly enjoying this. I don't think that's a surprise. Like, I'm just loving being in this world one final time for the book. I absolutely love I love Harry Potter, but I feel like I'm preferring the book for the Deathly Hallows over the film. I definitely didn't like the first part of the films, but now I've read the book, or at least nearly got up to the part where part 2 starts and part 1 finishes. There's still a bit to go, but I feel like we've got like this much left, or I want to say this much left of part 1, and then that's just what's left of part 2. It's a bit crazy, because obviously this whole book is the last book, so I'm intrigued, because obviously I've not read the Harry Potter books before, and obviously I've only read the first 3 before I even, like, when I was younger, and I never read the others. I had them all, but I never read them. So now I'm finally reading them, but yeah. I'm enjoying it, and I'm hoping tomorrow I will listen to some more at work, who knows, but I am thoroughly enjoying it. I'm enjoying seeing Harry, Ron and Hermione, like, figuring out things now they're outside of Hogwarts, and the tension's rising and everything. We all know what's coming, so very excited. Not sure if I'm prepared for it to be over, but it's okay, because then we can start the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I used my credit for this month on Saving 6 by Chloe Walsh rather than the last Lord of the Rings book, but I'll do that next month, because there's no way I'm going to finish the next 2 Lord of the Rings books before next month's credit, because I'm probably not going to start them yet. So yeah, But I'm very, very excited to continue this tomorrow, and also to continue Daisy Jones and the Six maybe later tonight, because I actually was reading some of it on my first lunch break after I went to Shut the Works, which I'll talk to you about in a moment. And I was like, oh, actually I'm really enjoying back in the story. I just think I needed to get my mind off everything else, and I think yesterday was just a bit of a crappy day, and that's probably why, because I was feeling so like lethargic, and that's why I was feeling a bit down in the dumps about reading it. But I did go to the works today to buy a book on my anticipated reads list. I was going to pick up another one, but I didn't. So I have a rule that I'm only allowed to buy books on my most anticipated reads list that are coming out, which if you've watched my most anticipated reads of 2025 video, you'll see I had a list on my phone, and that's what I went through. And I'm only allowed to buy books that are on that list. Supposedly. I've been pretty good at sticking to it so far. I haven't actually bought any other book off this list since my birthday, but that was because I had a birthday gift card. But I haven't bought anything off that list since, and I'm pretty proud of myself for that. So I picked up, this was on my list of ones I could get, and now that I read Wild Eyes in my 24-hour readathon, my most recent one, I feel like I was actually able to get this without feeling too guilty. I got Wild Side. I don't know if it's going to focus because of the lighting. Let's see. Wild Side by Elsie Silver. This is the third book in the Rose Hill series. Oh, I'm loving this cover. It just feels very silky smooth. This is about Reese and, oh, what was her name? I remember her from Wild Eyes specifically. I think she was also in the first one, but she definitely talked about it a lot more in the second one. It's about Tabitha and Reese, and I'm quite excited for the story because the way it was spoken about in, like, the way you heard about their connection, slight connection in the second book, I'm like, okay, now I'm ready for theirs. And I really, really enjoyed the second book, so I'm so excited to get to this book at some point. So, yes, got that to add to my TBR. Okay, we're here. We're about to start reading Daisy Jones and the Six. I did read a little bit more, so I've read about 6 more pages, so since I last spoke to you, and I'm now continuing for a bit. We're at 3 hours 35 minutes of reading today, which is actually crazy. Like, actually utter craziness. So I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to watch Once Upon a Time because it's currently something I really wanted to rewatch, and so I'm rewatching from where I left off rewatching. So I'm on episode 1 of season 5, which is when Emma goes dark. I don't know why, but season 5 is one of my favourite seasons, even though the first half does kind of like, it ebbs and flows for me. I'm like, there's parts I love and there's parts I hate, because, yeah, and then, but the second half, oh my god, I'm obsessed. The Underworld, oh my god, I love, but yeah, anyway, I'm going to continue reading, and I'm going to watch some Once Upon a Time whilst I read. To get ready to go to bed, so I'm going to stop reading now, but we have made it to page 62 in Daisy Jones and the Six, and I read 37 pages of this book, 167 pages today, which is pretty good. Definitely slowly getting back into this. I think because I need to get to the grippier bits, and because I've read it before, I know what to expect, so I might actually just change over to another book, because I feel like, because I know what's coming up, I'm not really that intrigued. So I think I might go to my book cart and find a different book to read, because I think that's what I want to do. And it's not because I'm getting into a slump, but I am enjoying this book, but I feel like it's probably not the book I want to read at this current moment in time. So sadly, this will be don't know, because I don't even know what I want to read this current moment in time. This is the problem. I mean, I kind of know, I kind of feel like maybe it's Zodiac Academy, but I feel like that's a bad idea. Good morning. I'm going to quickly talk before I go make my breakfast, but I've been up. I'm up and I'm really, I don't want to be in a slump, and I'm trying my hardest to think I'm not in a slump, because the thing is, the reason I'm struggling with being thinking I'm in a slump. So I'm going to make my breakfast, have a tea, and I'm going to stick my headphones on and just like read a little bit this morning before I go to work and before I make my lunch. I'm going to stick my headphones on and try and read some of this. If I really am struggling, I think I've picked up one book that I think will probably help me just get through a book, and that is The Chase by Elle Kennedy. I feel like Elle Kennedy's writing is just so easy to read, and she's on Kindle, so yeah. We're going to see, and if not, then I'm going to pick up Zodiac Academy, because I feel like that's the only other one that's probably going to get me out of this like funky feeling. So yeah, I'm going to go make a tea, then I'll stick my headphones on and just see if maybe if I listen to music might help me read this book, because if you wonder why it looks a bit dark but with the light, because I put my light on here because this light is really bad into the camera. So when I'm filming when I get home from work and it's dark out and I'm sitting here, I use that. When I'm doing my bed, doing like an update, that's fine. However, obviously I read a bit before work this morning, which really helped today. I probably won't tomorrow because I have to leave here really early tomorrow. I'm leaving here at 7:30 in the morning, which is crazy because I'm working from 8. Brilliant, but it means I might be able to listen to a little of my book at work in the morning anyway, so it's okay. So but today so far we have read for an hour and 47 minutes, which compared to yesterday is a lot less. However, it's still quite a bit, and I think that reading this morning really helped. So we read for Harry Potter, for this book here, we read chapter 21 and chapter 22. Because they were quite long, so we listened to two chapters of this book, and that was 32 pages, which isn't actually that long when you think about it, but it felt long when I listened to it. But we've got like it's only that much left. I'm actually not, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to savour it, is I'm not ready to finish this book, and I really feel like there's more. I'm missing like half a book here, because this just doesn't feel right. Anyway. I am like about 60% of the way through, I want to say, and I'm just loving it. I am loving this book and this audiobook. I love the Harry Potter audiobooks. Like, they're just so good. So I cannot wait. I actually cannot wait to start the Lord of the Rings ones, because they are read by Andy Serkis, and Andy Serkis is Gollum. And if you've watched the films, like, you know that voice. I love Gollum or Schmeagol. I love that character, so I'm crazy. I know I'm a bit of a weirdo, but still. But yeah, I'm like really enjoying this book, really enjoying the way the story is told, and like hearing the things that you don't see in the film, which is always great when you get that. So yeah. And today was the test to see if that reader slump I was thinking I was in last night again was the thing. I don't think it is, because I've read 80, I wrote this down, 86 pages of this book so far today. I started on page 62 and I'm at 148 now. I read a lot before work, and I read on both my lunch breaks, and I couldn't put it down. We are getting to, I think because I've read the book and I know that they were getting to the grittier parts, and that's what I think was harder to me to get into, but I'm now fully into it again, and I'm loving it, and I'm happy, and I'm just happy I'm not actually in a slump as much as I thought I was, because I genuinely thought I was getting into a slump, and I was like, I don't have time for this, I've got a lot of stuff to read. So yeah, I really need to do my book journal, and I'm trying to figure out when the hell am I going to do this. I think tomorrow I might print the pictures off, and then maybe Friday I could try and start doing it, and maybe finish on Sunday, or do some more on Sunday and Monday. Yeah, something I'm going to have to look into doing, because I haven't done my book journal for February yet, and it's like we're in March. So yeah, and I read quite a few books in February, so that's fun. But I'm really enjoying this book. I feel like I can't really give you updates because I've read this book like twice. It's the third time I'm reading it for a video. So yeah, but luckily this is only like a how much I realistically read. So like I said, we've read for an hour and 47 minutes today. So hopefully we'll read a bit more tonight. I think it's gonna be a early. It's not gonna be an early tonight. I don't do early nights, but I am gonna read. Try and get a good chunk of this book done tonight, because if I could move on to another book before the end of this video, I would be very happy. Especially if I've got to travel to Portsmouth and back on the weekend, and I would like to read on my journey, although I have got to go through my scripts for Funny Girl as well, because I need to do stuff. So yeah. Hello, it is actually Thursday, but I thought I'd quickly update you on yesterday. I need to be quick because I am actually like, running a little bit later than I wanted to be, but it's okay. Okay, I didn't actually read any more than what I told you I had done yesterday, because I just didn't feel, I got really tired in the evening, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm not going to read, because the last time I tried to do that in the evening and read, I felt like I was in a slump, really, I was just tired. That's my alarm. So I only read 118 pages yesterday, which is pretty decent. So we read for 1 hour and 47 minutes. I actually forgot to add this to this, but I remember, and I deleted the timer, but I remember. 47 minutes. Today is going to be a bit of a hard day for me to read. It's Thursday. I have work, so I'm going to listen to the audiobook, especially my first hour, because I'm working. I'm going in an hour early. Partly so I can actually leave on time today, because I have things to do tonight. But on my lunch break I need to go to the one of my lunch break I need to go get food in town. And then in my second lunch break, to be fair, I can read. And then when I get home, I have editing to do, because I need to edit Saturday's video. Like, I wouldn't mind if I had all day Saturday to do it as well, but I don't. I'm literally getting up to go all the way to Portsmouth. First of all, I do apologise if you hear noise. I think my mum's got to hoover. But I thought I'd give you an update on what I've read so far today, because I feel like pretty proud of myself. I've actually read 120... Wait on. 122 pages. So we've read 117 pages of the audiobook of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. We are now on chapter 30. I've literally got that much left, so I feel like I can finish it tomorrow. Kind of sad though. I'm not really prepared for this to be over. And we've read 5 pages of Daisy Jones so far. I didn't really get a chance to read on my lunch breaks today, because I didn't make lunch this morning for work, so I had to go buy lunch, and then on my second lunch I had to go find stuff for a raffle tonight, so I didn't have a chance to read. And I now need to edit, so I don't think I'm going to get any reading done before rehearsals. I don't know if I'm going to go to the pub or not now, I'm not sure. So if I don't go to the pub, I'll have a chance to read. If not, no. However, we have read so far for 2 hours and 27 minutes, which I think is very good considering. Today, but literally I was just listening to the audiobook of this book, and I'm reading 5 pages. So yeah, I don't think this is going to be a 5-star read. I like some of the other ones have, but I feel like this could be a really high rating. I feel like 4.5. I don't think it'll be anything lower, but I love it. So yeah. Anyway, I need to get on with editing, and this yapping isn't going to get me there, so. Hello, okay, it's Friday. Happy Friday. Matcha Friday. I haven't had a matcha for a while. A long while. This is, I made my own version of the Daydream one. I have never had that one before, but it's cinnamon vanilla with a little bit of honey, and oh my god, it's so good. I'm having a fixation with cinnamon at the moment, so that's probably why I love it. Anyway, today I wouldn't say I've read much. I've read, so I've read 2 chapters, or listened to 2 chapters of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. This book, we haven't actually got much left. I'm actually kind of scared. Like, look, I know what's going to happen. I've seen the film several times, but look how much left. So, I could potentially listen to this whilst I'm doing my series tracker, but I don't think I will. So I think I'll be finishing this one very soon. Probably not this weekend. Maybe I'll listen to some of it on the train. I don't know. If I do, I'll tell you on Sunday when I get home from rehearsals, or when I get home from Portsmouth, depending on what time I get back. Because it could be a point where I update you about the weekend's reading when I get back from rehearsals, or I update you when I get home from Portsmouth if I get back in time. Hopefully we'll get back in time and I won't have to worry too much. But yeah, so we've read 2 chapters and it's worked out to be exactly 40 pages, which I think is pretty decent when you think about it. 40 pages today of this book. Reading Daisy Jones. I've been reading this very slowly and it's really annoying me, but we're going to try. I am going to try and stay up quite a bit later tonight. I haven't got a video going up tomorrow. I'm really kind of sad about it, but my iMovie has been playing me up and I just got frustrated and I didn't do it. And I didn't go back after rehearsal because I got home at like 11:30. I feel like I didn't even update you on yesterday, which we'll do in a minute. I got home at like 11:30 and then I was like, yeah, I'm not going to edit. And I'm just not going to edit tonight. So I've decided for 1 week only, I'm not going to have a video going up tomorrow, which makes me feel really bad because I've been so consistent for like the last year and now I'm just like, just one video is not going up. But it's okay, I'd rather edit it and I'd be happy with the editing than rushing it and not be happy with it. So yeah, so tonight I think in the evening I'm going to try and binge this book and try and read as much as possible tonight so I can start a new book this weekend. I'm planning to start I've got a new video that I'm starting to film this weekend, which is going to be after this video I think, but it's going to be reading books off my 2025, the 25 books of my 2025 TBR, basically books of that, and I'm going to try and make it a series for the year to try and get through as many off that list. So yeah, but anyway, I've only read 37 pages of this. I started on page 153 and I'm on page 190, so we've read about 37 pages of this book so far, but I think I can get a good chunk of the way through because I love this book. It's easily bingeable and I'm now halfway through, so when I get the halfway mark I literally can binge through the book. So yeah, and we're getting to all the good bits. So obviously I think because this book is a reread, I just know what's coming, so but it's also I am enjoying the reread. I feel like this is the year of my reread series era because I reread 2 books in January. I actually started the year off by doing rereads and now I'm doing another reread and I'm quite happy with that. But we've only read so far for 1 hour and 1 minute so far today. But I feel like I said I'm going to binge this tonight so I can get a good chunk done. Good evening. Okay, it is late. It's 11:10 and I'm actually getting ready to go to bed because I'm tired. And I've got like a long travel. It's not a long day, but I have got to travel tomorrow. And travelling always makes me tired. And I really want to be in like my best form to see my best friend because I won't be seeing her again after this weekend until... Well, at the moment we haven't really had plans to see each other until we go to Paris, and that's at the end of June, so that's a long time. However, I'm stopping reading. I got to page 222 of Daisy Jones, and I am happy to be back in this world. We've only got that much left. I don't know when I'll be able to finish it. Hopefully this weekend, because I need to start another video this weekend whether I finish it or not. But hopefully I will. I was going to try and binge it tonight, but it ain't going to happen. So yeah, I read today 70 pages of this and 40 pages of this, which means I've read 110 pages today, which is pretty decent. Pretty decent. Nearly finished both books, specifically this one. So we read for 1 hour and 47 minutes. Exactly. So that's good. Hello, okay, it's been a couple of days. I think I updated you on Friday and that was the last time I spoke to you, probably. It is now Sunday and it is the end of this vlog, but I thought I would give you my weekend reading, how much I realistically read this weekend. I would have updated you when I got home before now, but I didn't come home from the train station. I got back from Portsmouth and I had to go straight to rehearsals, so here I am, finished rehearsals. Rehearsals are good, average, same as always, which is good. I enjoy rehearsals, so it's fine. And I'm really tired. If you couldn't tell, I'm rambling. However, I did do some reading this weekend on a train there and back. So over the weekend altogether we read 176 pages altogether. I did not listen to any of the Harry Potter audiobook, so the 176 pages were actually the rest of Daisy Jones and the Six. I finished this book on the way home today, which was my ambition to finish it today because I need to start the other video and start the books. The other video this week, so I was like, you know what, I need to finish this. And I got hooked because the ending always hooks me because I just wanted to read it, which means now I can sit and casually easily watch the TV show, rewatch the rest of the TV show without feeling like I need to wait till I've actually got stuff out in the book. But I loved it. Again, 5 stars, 5 stars. It is still one of my favourite books I've ever read. I don't think it'll ever stop being one of my favourite books, to the point where I bought another book of this to give to my best friend because she started her reading journey, and this is one of my favourite books in the world. I was like, I need her to read it. I'm really worried she won't like it. But yeah, and I also now want to reread it again, but listen to the audiobook this time. So maybe that was something I do soon. Not for a video, just for my own fun. But yeah, we finished this. So we read 176 pages this weekend, which is pretty good considering I only read on the train to and from Portsmouth. So yeah. And so let's just do a recap of the whole week. I'm not going to read you through everything I read this week, but we did obviously the pages numbers and the hours. I am going to say that we did read obviously Daisy Jones and the Six and did the audiobook. The rest of we finished Throne of the Fallen by Kerry Maniscalco, and we didn't start because I was reading, but we continued Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, and I've got like 2 hours left of that audiobook, and I think I can finish it this week, so that's fine. But overall, we read 807 pages this week, which I think is pretty good considering I thought at the beginning of the week I was going through a slump. I thought that was a pretty good amount of pages read in a week. And then roughly throughout the whole week we did roughly about 12 hours of reading. I tried to incorporate how much time I roughly would have read over the weekend as well, so roughly altogether it comes to 12 hours. I might be a little bit over or I might be slightly below, but that's the rough timing. I'm not going to work out every down to the minute because that's just too much. Why have I got whistling? Ooh. Hello? Weird. I had a weird whistling sensation in my ear. But yeah, so 12 hours of reading, 807 pages, pretty decent for a week. I don't know if that's actually how much I realistically read, but it is roughly how much I read in a week. I think it kind of works out. I usually read a book a week at least. Like, I don't sometimes can finish 2 books a week, it really depends. But I think considering we read this whole book and got through the majority of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows is a pretty good start. So with that being said, we are ending this video here. If you did enjoy it, then please give it a thumbs up, please comment down below, please subscribe, and I will see you again very soon with another video. Bye.